Okay, we put this middle question in the middle because we're almost afraid to ask it. What have been the biggest challenges you've encountered on the Olympic project? And be honest.
Okay, well, you know what? I'm gonna start saying that it's really not just the Olympic project. It is working with this environment where you have different people on the boards, multiple boards come and go, and that happens at multiple projects that we're on. And that is that once a project started, a new board comes in and then either puts it on hold or they change it in one way and they add or subtract things to it, which is fine. But then another board comes in and says, well, why do we do that? Let's do this instead. And then another board comes in, well, let's do this instead. So I really need you guys to hear me. What is going on here is really defining leadership, defining the scope of work, and sticking to it. That to me is the most important things for boards, because what I see, not just at Olympus, but at other projects, is not going through and completing a project. Starting something, and then it goes on hold, and then starting something different, and then starting something different. Next thing you know, you've started about 19 things, and nothing's getting done. That to me is my biggest frustration with not just Olympus, but all projects that are kind of sorted like this.
Great. If I may ask a little follow-up, do you feel that when boards come in, new boards come in, and they start changing things around, reprioritizing things, do you think that is partially driven by the fear of starting a project that then gets pinned on them, and if something goes bad, they'll be responsible? Or do you think sometimes it might just be like, those people before us didn't know what they were doing, we have to come up with something new?
It's both of those intertwined, which is why it's so frustrating. Think of it this way. A board comes in and they say, Renee, what's wrong with this? And we say, this is what's wrong. Okay, how much is it gonna cost? Let's get a contractor. We get the bid back. Here's how much it costs. They say, I'm not gonna be the one that's gonna tell that to the association. Let's get another board in here to do it. Another board comes in and says, oh my gosh, that's how much that costs? You know what? My brother-in-law, my nephew, he knows some guy who can come here and do this way cheaper than that, and he says that he can get it done. Well, guys, that's what happened at Olympus when we first started. When we first started, there was different engineers, all different projects. Nobody knew what was going on. There were people doing engineering that weren't even engineers, licensed engineers. We came on to, again, herd all those cats, herd all those projects and get them together. And I remember standing there in the board meeting, almost raising my right hand and saying, I swear that I will, one, make you guys sit down and decide on projects so we can get them started. I also swear to come in and talk to an entire board. Don't talk to one person here and then come over here and talk to another person. So that is what we've been true to that. I've actually walked into boards and said, there's only 2 people here. I'm sorry, we need more people in this room. And more people have come. That's a true story that has happened. So I want to make sure that everything is transparent, that I am here to just tell you, here's what we need to do. Now, understand, guys, I can't push you to do it. If you say we don't want to do the paint on the buildings, then it doesn't get done. Then your building doesn't get painted. There's only so much we can do. Now, we can go to the city and we can start arguing and we can do things like that, but we can't really force you guys to complete the project that we started. That, I think, to answer your question, is one of our biggest frustrations. And look, it's not that these projects are stuff that we're making up. Hey, I think you should do that. I think you should do that. These are projects that, like I said, 2019, there's a list that says, here's what we're going to do. And everything, and then you say, well, we didn't see that list. I just told you that list. On that list is the scope of work that we're doing now. So these are all things that needed to get done, and we are now doing them. And we're actually happy that, we get some constant leadership now to be able to push these projects through. And thank goodness we're finally getting these things up and running. 2020, what is it? We're at 2022 now. And we're finally starting on these projects and getting them rolling. And thank goodness these things are now on the way to get completed.
Awesome. Thank you very much.